There is only one piece of business news reporting today, and that's the Consumer Confidence Index out of the University of Michigan, and it hit a little bit off of what expectations were. The headline numbers it seem to have immediately impacted the market with nothing else to talk about. The NASDAQ uh, was up, has now gone into negative territory. And we'll talk about the Consumer Confidence Index at the end of the show, as usual, when we get into the economic news. And I'm going to have to report it to you raw because I didn't have they report late every single month. It's their website gets completely overwhelmed and nobody can get the information when it's supposed to come out at 10 o'clock Eastern. So in fact, I'm a little late starting out this morning myself because of it. One thing I did notice, by the way, it was kind of an interesting aspect this morning. I realized as I was prepping the show this morning, there was zero and has been zero, not one article, not Friday, not last week, not over the weekend, not today. There's not been a single article about FSD version 13. You know, there's been, as you know, probably you know this already, there's hundreds of videos on X, hundreds, I don't know how many, from citizen journalists, and not one professional journalist from the financial journals, from the auto journals, from the general news organizations. Nobody thinks that this is news, that this massive breakthrough that everybody's talking about with regard to FSD 13. Anyway, it's kind of odd, don't you think? So, of course, the markets are going to be volatile this week. We got lower trading. We've got people on vacations, all those, the window dressing issues and everything else. But at least right now, let me just, for fun, just take another quick look because it was getting very volatile there a minute ago. Tesla is back in the green at this exact moment, but it's generally red after that University of Michigan report came out. All right. This from Investors Business Daily this morning. A Monday note from Barclays, that means today, a brand new note from Barclays today, estimated that Tesla's total fourth quarter deliveries at 515,000 units, just like Elon, of course, has said. The magic number, which would represent year-over-year delivery growth by three units to 1.8 million. Anyway, in 2023, compared to 2023, the analysis wrote that this will keep the stock's narrative momentum strong. However, the firm believes investor focus on Tesla stock's fundamentals is generally limited right now, and that a light near-term volume miss would likely do little to dampen Tesla's rally fueled by President-elect Donald Trump, autonomous vehicle, and artificial intelligence. I think they're right, and all the pundits, well, we'll talk about more people that agree. Anyway, Barclays also wrote that Tesla's Q4 result is likely immaterial the majority of the current Tesla bull case. That doesn't mean if it misses, if we're talking about, 495, 490, yeah, it could. Anyway, we'll talk more. On Wednesdays, Tesla stock retreated 8.3% to 440 after hitting a record of 488.54 intraday earlier in the week. Despite last week's decline, Tesla stock is still above its 21-day line. There, I don't pay attention to these things, so I'm reporting what they're saying. And also the 50-day moving average. Shares are still in a huge uptrend and due for some consolidation. Barclays analyst on December 18th wrote the post-election rally in Tesla shares reflects a sharp disconnect between the stock and the company's fundamentals. The firm wrote that the technicals and the options are playing an outsized role in the rally. The firm wrote that the technicals and the options are playing an outsized role in the rally, and that Tesla shares are now best compared to the cryptocurrencies. Well, that's a little strong. I wouldn't go that far. Tesla's fourth quarter deliveries, with Tesla predicting slight vehicle delivery growth in 2024 versus 2023's 1.18 million, the EV giants needs 514,925 deliveries to pass by one, far more than the quarter four deliveries of only 484,000. Analyst consensus currently forecasts 498 and vehicle deliveries in quarter four and 1.79 million for 2024 total, according to FactSet. Tesla stock has surged in recent weeks, partly to do with the self-driving is finally on the way. Tesla topped the 1 trillion mark on November 8th for the first time in 2 years, and then gapped and went up and was eventually 1.5 trillion. Tesla stock popped 3.2 on December 5th, et cetera, et cetera. Tesla stock is now on the IBD leaderboard watch list. Tesla stock ranks first in the 35-member IBD Auto Manufacturers Industry Group. It has a 93 composite rating out of a possible 99, and shares also have a 97 relative strength rating and a 78 EPS rating, earnings per share rating. AJ had this to say. He says, FactSet, which is one of the two primary consensus providers on Wall Street, has Tesla at 497,000. So they're off between the two. They said 498. AJ says 497. Anyway, there could be more updates, but he doesn't expect significant moves from here by FactSet over the next 2 weeks. AJ could have significant moves, quite frankly. I'm a little surprised. That's not like AJ. I don't think that's true. I think we can see, well, maybe not significant. Maybe that's the issue, is the word significant. I think we could definitely see them pulling up as we get closer, which is kind of common. Last quarter, consensus was spot on, and perhaps this was a fluke, but since it lines up with my own estimates, I believe it's likely accurate estimate. So AJ must be at around 498 or 500 at this point. I thought he was higher, but I could be wrong. My view is that as long as deliveries come in somewhere near consensus, it won't matter much, as investors are increasingly focused on FSD and new product launches. What did Elon Musk have to say? He says, with a lot of, he's replying to 𝐄𝐦𝐚𝐲. He says, with a lot of work and good ideas, I think Tesla, could exceed the value of all transport companies, excluding SpaceX. Of course, since he's already said that the market cap could exceed 32 trillion, this new boast is not nearly that high an evaluation and of a valuation. And by the way, at 32 trillion, I think you could throw in SpaceX. So what is it, Elon? Is it 32 trillion, or is it only the combination of all transport? This is from SLA Chan, Tesla Chan, known as Tesla Chan on X. He says, and a common reporter from China, he says, interesting job openings. Tesla is firming its way to unsupervised full self-driving. Here's the job opening. Help transition Tesla's autopilot to unsupervised full self-driving by developing and validating features, including full self-driving, auto steer, auto park, NOA, smart summon, and more. Software quality assurance engineer for self-driving. Tesla participates in an E-Verify program. What to expect. As a software quality assurance engineer, you'll be responsible for validating all current and future autopilot features on the path to unsupervised full self-driving. All right, this is Randy Kirk. Hit like and hit subscribe and hit notify. Later today, as always, Larry Goldberg somewhere around 5 o'clock and California time, and then Brian White at 7:45. I already know what we're going to talk about, Brian White and I, and so you will not want to miss it. That'll be coming up later today. And then, of course, love to have a few more folks sending me wrapped Christmas presents on Patreon. Information down below in the description. All right, this is the Consumer Conference Board Confidence Index, declined by 8.1 points in December to 104.7. So this is why the stock market was down, okay? And I think you know that I have less and less confidence in the Conference Board Consumer Confidence Index. I feel like it's a university project, and I feel like it is been taken over by bias. Okay, but anyway, down 8.1. The Present Situation Index, based on consumers' assessment of current business and labor market conditions, fell 1.2% to 140. The Expectations Index, based on consumers' short-term outlook for income, tumbled 12% to 81.1, just above the threshold of 80 that usually signals a recession ahead. The cutoff date for preliminary results was December 16th. The recent rebound in consumer confidence was not sustained in December, as the index dropped back to the middle of its range, according to Dana Peterson, chief economist at the Conference Board. While weaker consumer assessments of the present situation and expectations contributed to the decline, the expectations component saw the sharpest decline. Consumer view, we just saw that. Consumer views of current labor market conditions continue to improve. consistent with recent job and employment data, but the assessment of business conditions weakened. Compared to last month, consumers in December were substantially less optimistic about future business conditions and incomes. Moreover, pessimism about future employment prospects returned after cautious optimism had prevailed in October and November. Among age groups, December's fall in confidence was led by consumers over 35 years old. Consumers under 35 became more confident, actually. So among income groups, the decline was concentrated in consumers with household earnings between 25 and 100,000, while consumers in the bottom and top of the income range reported only limited changes. So the middle class over 35 is who's lost confidence, according to this. Consumers became a little bit less bullish about the stock market. 52.9 expected stock prices to increase in the year ahead, down from a record 57.2 in November, while 25% of consumers expected stock prices to decline, up from 21.7. The share of consumers expecting higher interest rates over the next 12 months ticked up to 48.5, but remained near recent lows. The proportion of consumers anticipating a recession over the next 12 months was stable. Meanwhile, consumers' assessment of their family's financial situation, both current and over the 6 months, weakened. Average 12-month inflation expectations stabilized. Asked what goods and services they expected to be more affordable in 2025, consumers most selected food and gas, gym services, and live events, concerts, and sports were to be more affordable, all likely to be more affordable. On a 6-month moving average basis, purchasing plans for homes were down slightly in December. Purchasing plans for autos continued to increase, and more consumers plan to buy a big ticket item. This is what we need. This is what would really be the next thing to stimulate the economy. Consumers' buying plans for most appliances and electronics were still down on a 6-month moving average. Separately, consumers continue to expect intentions to purchase additional services. Traveling, going to the movies were somewhat lower, while personal care and health care moved up. Travel spending intentions, vacation plans were down, both domestic and international travel. In write-in responses about factors affecting consumers' views on the economy, mentions of politics, including the outcome of November elections, continued to rise. Mentions of tariffs also increased in December. Notably, a special question this month showed that 46% of U.S. consumers expected tariffs to raise the cost of living, while 21% expected tariffs to create more U.S. jobs. Consumers' assessment of current business conditions continued to erode. All right, I think we've read enough of that. Let's see. So, okay. So let's take a look at how that impact, because again, that's the only news of the day. It was a substantial decrease. Like I say, I'm losing confidence in the confidence board, but right now that's the only news out there for people to look at. So what we got is Tesla still up this morning, as I mentioned, very resilient, up 151. It was down a bit, but now it's picked up back. It's at 422.57. We've got the Dow down 252, the NASDAQ down 16, which was up nicely earlier, and the S&P, which was up, down 1571. You've got the Magnificent Seven mostly down, but NVIDIA and Meta joined Tesla being up, but all barely. You've got the Cathie Woods all down. Now, the other thing that's going on, of course, as you could guess, is the bond market, and we'll talk about that in a minute. All right, so we've got the percentages are that the Dow is down 0.57, the NASDAQ down 0.09, and the S&P down 0.28, with Tesla still up 0.35 this morning. All right, let's go take a look at bonds. Bonds. Just a second here. Okay, here we go. Listen to this now. This is part of what's probably happening this morning. Now, the bonds might also be responding to the consumer index that just came out, because they were already up before that, but now they're up even more. This is up. The 10-year is up 4.4 basis points this morning at 4.566. This is probably impacting the Cathie Woods, impacting Tesla to a certain extent, but we now have the 10-year at 4.568. This is, to me, just nuts. I continue to believe that the bonds will rally at some point. I think that this is way, way oversold, I guess it would be the proper way to say it. We've got the 2 years are up 3.2 basis points this morning at 4.344, and you've got the 1 month is unchanged at 4.316. All right, let's go ahead and look at what's happening with oil. And you have got the oil is all right, down 47 cents. Brent down 61. You've got, we're now under 69 at 68.99. That's just barely under 69. And we've got Brent also at 72.33. Natural gas, down. Keep saying it wrong. Natural gas is down 3.52 at 3.616, right in its sweet spot, recent sweet spot. Gold is down 17.50 at 2,627, again, right in the middle of what it's been doing. And silver is putting pressure on $30 again at $30.09. And copper down barely at down 0.24 at $4.09. Bitcoin down another 1827 at 93,279. So that's pretty significant. And by the way, we also in news over the weekend, we've got that Nissan Honda deal still going forward. They added Suzuki. The headline was that would make them the third largest auto company. I didn't get a chance to look into the details of that. It seems wrong, but maybe it is. I could be incorrect on that. Toyota, Volkswagen, typically number one, number two. Stellantis are the combination of Kia and the South Koreans usually those are around 3 and 4. So I don't know if this combination would actually move them into that rarefied area or not. Anyway, okay. So reminder again, Larry Goldberg at around 5 o'clock, and then Brian White at around, exactly probably 7:45. And one more time, taking a look at Tesla, still up, actually up more now, $3.31. Tesla all morning long. This is my sense. This is a gut. This has nothing to do with technicals. This has nothing to do with fundamentals. This has nothing to do with anything except Randy's gut. Okay. My gut this morning has been Tesla wants to go up. I mean, there's just seems to be a lot of, now everybody's calling them animal spirits, a lot of animal spirits right now involved in the Tesla price. And it's been all overnight, all morning, regardless of what the rest of the market is doing, Tesla seems to want to go up. And right now it's up 319. All right. Yesterday night, as always, of course, I did my Sunday night analysis of what I thought would happen during the week. That is still valuable. If you want to go check that out, there is the card. That's all I got for you right now. It's been great talking to you.